Welcome iTunes, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'm Harriet Kelly-Gibby, your host for Groundbreaking Vision, and I'm so glad to have you join us. Groundbreaking Vision is a weekly video podcast I created with my team to tell the stories of people who are transforming our world. I'll be interviewing people and sharing interesting stories or ideas that deserve our attention because they're breaking through the clutter and white noise of our culture. They're creating groundbreaking changes. Some of the people and ideas I'll be talking about will be familiar to you, and some will be brand new. First up today is Groundbreaking Vision in Arts and Entertainment. I was on a girls' trip to Austin with my college roommates, Amy and Michelle, a couple of weeks ago, and my friend and business partner, Stephen Giles, had insisted I take time to see a new architectural design by Ellsworth Kelly. I could see the building was getting uber media attention from everywhere. The New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Vanity Fair, Architectural Digest, Texas Monthly, and the Dallas Morning News. So I took some time while I was at my alma mater in Austin to check it out. The Ellsworth Kelly chapel-like structure is called Austin and sits on the campus of the University of Texas. We do know how to build expensive, beautiful buildings in Texas, and Austin, by Ellsworth Kelly, is no exception. It's become an internationally famous architectural gem. It's a $23 million project, and it took 20 years to complete. Kelly wanted to be sure that everyone had visual access of the building so that you would feel welcome to visit it. So you can see the little building, which some people call a marshmallow, on your right as you drive down NLK Boulevard towards I-35. The building is one contiguous work with 3 walls of stained glass panels that tint the light coming in from outside. It's an artist chapel on the par with the Rothko Chapel in Houston, but it trades the doom and gloom of that space at the Menil Collection for a burst of bright optimism that since it opened 2 months ago has delighted the eyes, the iPhone cameras, and droves of visitors. Now for those of you who are not contemporary art nerds, here are a few deets about Ellsworth Kelly. He's an internationally respected contemporary artist and wildly influential force in the post-war art world. He first rose to critical acclaim in the 1950s with his bright, multi-paneled, and largely monochromatic canvases. He says of his art, "I've worked to free shape from its ground, and then to work the shape so that it has a definite relationship to the space around it, so that it has a clarity and a measure within itself of its parts, its angles, curves, ages, and mass, so that with color and tonality the shape finds its own space and always demands its freedom and separateness." As a stylist, I find this description reminds me of the beauty I find in every human being's presence. Kelly intends for viewers to experience his artwork with instinctive, physical responses, which I had. He encourages a kind of silent encounter or bodily participation by the viewer with the artwork, chiefly by presenting bold and contrasting colors. So it was a gray, gloomy, rainy day when I bought my ticket at the Blanton Museum and walked a few feet up to see up close and personal the little building called the Marshmallow. I gave my ticket to the docent at the door and entered the museum. I was honestly shocked by the energy of it as I entered the space. It was stunning. The simplicity of the space and the way the museum captured the light through the stained glass elements was amazing. I couldn't take my eyes off of the colors. I had a physical reaction to the peace and serenity of the interior of the building, and my eyes filled with tears. Eventually, I asked a young guard if I could sit down on the floor of the museum and just stare at the colors to see if I might have some understanding of why I wanted to cry, especially when I focused on the blue stained glass pieces. I practiced looking away from the blue stained glass and then looking back to see if the emotional effect was wearing off. And I'm not sure how long I sat there. It was probably 10 minutes, but my physical response never changed. Every time I looked at the blues, I was overwhelmed with the peace and serenity that passed my understanding. So I asked the docent who took my ticket at the door as I entered if my reaction was kind of crazy, and she said, "No, you just get it. Some people don't get it, but those that do have a remarkably similar reaction, and that's why I love my job." So I wanted you all to know about the little Temple of Light in Austin, Texas, called Austin. A visit there might reward you with what it did me, the thing I hope to find in church but rarely do. It gave me an experience of the peace of God that passes all understanding. So more news about entertainment and culture. Last week was the 48th annual USA Film Festival at the Angelica, which is one of the oldest film festivals in the world, and it takes place every year in Dallas. RGB is an inspirational documentary about every woman's favorite Supreme, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I have to tell you, it's one of the best films I've seen all year. Thanks to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, also known as the notorious RBG, and many others, we are finally seeing things like Bill Cosby's conviction, which happened on Friday, and it's about damn time. I first heard of his predatory behavior when a girlfriend who worked on the Jell-O account with him 30 years ago told me Bill Cosby locked her in a bathroom on the film set and threw in a bag of pills, told her he wouldn't let her out until she'd taken them all. So this has been going on for at least 30 years. Cosby's conviction, following the revelations about Harvey Weinstein and other leaders in American culture, tells me we're at a watershed moment of American history. I never thought I'd see the day I didn't have to pretend to ignore some sexual innuendo or pivot when a man made a highly inappropriate remark or gesture in my direction. But I'm seeing a new day, and we're all experiencing a groundbreaking moment here. I, along with so many other women, have a long list of sexual predatory behaviors that I've endured. I've learned to be silent about most of them, except to my significant others and girlfriends and college roommates. But I feel a new freedom as I walk in the world now. I feel a new respect for being a woman. When Me Too started, the media questioned, is this a moment or movement? Ladies and gentlemen, this is both a movement and a groundbreaking moment in American history. The team here at Groundbreaking Visions with Harriet encourage you to tell your stories. Let us help you tell your story of your vision, your way to make your contribution and move this culture forward. Next week we'll be talking fashion, my favorite topic, and I'll share tips and trends that make you feel beautiful. Thank you for watching today's show. Please let us know what you liked and what else you'd like to see. Thanks for tuning in. I love you all.